The rain fell in thin, relentless lines as the old bus hissed to a stop at the cracked roadside, near the familiar iron gate. The same gate Arman Malik had walked through proudly 25 years ago, as a young man with dreams larger than the dusty town he left behind. Now he stepped down slowly, clutching a worn cloth bag, his shoulders hunched, his beard untrimmed, clothes faded and loose, shoes scuffed beyond repair. To anyone watching, he was just another tired, broken man returning home with nothing. No one would ever guess that behind those tired eyes was a self-made millionaire who owned factories overseas, who slept in penthouses and signed deals worth more than this entire town could imagine. Arman had sold his luxury watch, left his phone behind, withdrawn a small amount of cash, and chosen this disguise for one reason alone: to test the people he once called family. Years of success had taught him one cruel truth: money reveals faces, but its absence reveals souls. As he stood before the gate of his childhood home, memories flooded him. His mother's voice calling him for dinner, his younger brothers laughing, his sisters fighting over trivial things, his father's strict but honest gaze. He had sent money regularly for years, paid for weddings, houses, medical bills, never missing a month. But when his letters stopped 6 months ago, when he deliberately told them his business had failed and he was struggling, their responses grew cold, short, and eventually stopped altogether. That silence hurt more than any loss he had ever faced. Tonight, he had come back not as a benefactor, not as a savior, but as a beggar seeking shelter, love and truth. He knocked gently. The door opened after a long pause, revealing his younger brother Samir, now heavier, better dressed, gold ring shining on his finger. Samir's eyes scanned Arman from head to toe with confusion that quickly turned into discomfort. "Who are you?" Samir asked, his voice cautious. Arman swallowed and replied softly, "It's me." Arman, for a brief second, recognition flickered, but it was quickly replaced by shock and embarrassment. "Bye, is this some joke?" Samir whispered, glancing behind him as if afraid someone might see. Arman shook his head slowly. "No joke. I lost everything. I had nowhere else to go." The door opened wider, but not in welcome, in hesitation. Inside, the house looked different. New furniture, shiny tiles, expensive curtains. The house Arman had built with his money no longer felt like his. Their sister Nida appeared from the hallway, her smile fading the moment she saw him. "What happened to you?" she asked, not with concern but disbelief. Arman forced a tired smile. "Life happened." Silence followed. Awkward, heavy silence. Finally, Samir stepped aside. "Come in. But Abba isn't well, and things are tight here." Arman nodded, understanding the unspoken message already forming. At dinner, Arman sat on the edge of the table while his family ate comfortably. No one asked if he was hungry. No one offered him extra food. He noticed how conversations avoided him, how his presence made the room tense. When he tried to speak about the past, about memories, laughter died quickly. Later that night, as he prepared to sleep on the floor, Samir cleared his throat. "Abai, how long do you plan to stay?" The question struck harder than any insult. "Just a few days," Arman replied quietly. Samir nodded with relief he didn't bother hiding. "You see, expenses are high, and neighbors talk." Arman smiled bitterly to himself. The same neighbors who once praised his generosity would now whisper about his failure. Lying awake on the thin mattress, Arman stared at the ceiling, wondering when love had become conditional, when blood had become transactional. If this story is already touching your heart, remember, real life is full of such silent tests, and subscribing to this channel helps us bring these powerful lessons to more people who need them. The next morning, Arman offered to help around the house. He cleaned, repaired a broken chair, even cooked breakfast. His sister-in-law barely acknowledged him. Later, his sister hinted, "Maybe you should look for work outside. Staying idle won't help." No offer of help, no encouragement, just pressure. That afternoon, Arman overheard Samir whispering on the phone. "Yes, he came back. No, he has nothing now. I don't know how to send him away politely." The words pierced deep, but Arman remained silent. This was why he came. This pain was the truth he needed to see. He remembered how years ago, When Samir had lost his job, Arman flew him abroad, gave him capital to start a business. Now even a corner of the house felt like too much to ask. That evening, their eldest sister Farah arrived. She looked at Armin with teary eyes and rushed to hug him. "Hi, you're alive!" I was so worried. For the first time since his arrival, Arman felt warmth, but the hug was short-lived. Farah stepped back and said softly, "I wish things were different. My husband won't like this." Love existed, but fear controlled it. At night, Samir finally spoke openly. "Bye, please don't misunderstand. We respect you, but you know how life is. If people find out you failed, it affects us too." Arman nodded slowly. "So my failure is shameful?" Samir avoided his eyes. That answer was enough. As days passed, Arman felt more like a burden than a brother. Conversations stopped when he entered rooms. Food portions grew smaller. One morning, Samir handed him some cash. "This should help you find a place." Arman stared at the money, the same hands that once took millions from him now offering charity. He accepted it silently. That night he packed his small bag, heart heavier than ever. Before leaving, he stood at the doorway and looked back at the house he built. The family he loved, now strangers bound only by blood. "Thank you for letting me stay," he said politely. No one stopped him. As he walked away into the dark street, with rain beginning to fall again, Arman felt something inside him harden, not with anger but clarity. Wealth had given him power, but poverty had given him truth. Yet the test was not over. One person remained, one door left to knock, and that door would reveal something even more shocking than rejection. If you want to know what happens next, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because Chapter 2 will change everything you think you know about loyalty, love, and family.